Hey guys, how are you doing? Today we are going to examine the quarterly report, the third quarter report of Match.com, and I just found out that I'm not saying that she will go like Bed Bath and Beyond go for bankruptcy, but her financial position is not in a good shape already, right? If she still cannot get some effective way to improve the net profit, then she maybe just can hand in for 1 year more, right? We let us do the analyze, then you know that, right? But give yourself, if you have this stock, I recommend you to sell it out. Don't hold it. Then there are a lot of cheap stock now in the market, right? So no need to taking any risks, right? So you do not want you to hold Bed Bath and Beyond, right? So that's the issue, right? So we will take a brief look on that. Not difficult. Everyone can do that, right? So Match.com, then this is only what make the title. It still has no sign of rebounds, right? Then we know the reason why she has even do not has any rebounds on the stock prices, because the financial position is really start to make the investor worry about that, right? And then I think her CEO should come out and say that what is the company's direction right now is just not just by cutting the people and then sitting there and then waiting for the company to collapse, right? So our Falcon portfolio been raised back a little bit, just few percent to 47% for it should be 45 months already, right? So for any questions, then you can leave your message under the YouTube, or you can directly email to me by usstockmarketweekly@gmail.com. So we still remember the glory day, right? It is quite a long time before then. Charles Munger also hold this stock before, many years before when they go public listed on Nasdaq. But now these good old days are gone, right? These good old days are gone, right? So Match.com still has no sign of rebounds. Yesterday we get well, not a very good news, but not a bad news, that the consumer price index of US is just get a very small adjustment on that, right? So actually the market is rising a little bit, right? Just a little bit, just 200 points, right? You can see that yesterday Dow Jones rised at 216 points yesterday, and then Nasdaq 69 points. And this is our Falcon 350,000 portfolio. Then this year we've been our portfolio been raised for 3%. Then this you see that, right? Then in the first year of our portfolio been raised at 55% for 2020, and then we dropped at 13, and then we dropped at 28. Then we have a very hard year on last year, but we still okay, right? You can see that we some of them we still have a positive, right? Then Google, Apple, then we hope we will do better on 2023. So we go through some headlines first, right? And then this is the why the Dow Jones and Nasdaq been raised a little bit yesterday, because consumer price index fell. It just 0.1%, right? In last month, right? Not a lot, right? But it's not. You know that in the U.S. stock market, then they are always comparing to the expectation, and then if it is not dropping, then it's not cope with the expectation, right? So you can see that the key points is excluding the food and energy, the core CPI rose 0.3%, also in line with the estimate. So on a 2022 annual basis, the headline CPI rose 6.5%, while core increased at 4.7%, right? So that is cope with the expectation. So still okay, right? One week before, the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield is 3.72%, and then yesterday 3.47%, decreased to 0.3%. So we go through some headlines first. Then first is a very interesting question. We know that now China is reopened, and then a lot of countries like Korea, like Japan, they have imposed new travel rule that they have to put on a tab and then wait for the PCR test, right? But why Singapore isn't imposing any new travel rules on the visitors from China, then we all know why, right? They don't want to do anything against China, and they will say that okay, our current policy is effective, right? So Singapore is quite a very smart country, although they are just small, right? They beneficial from China, from US, from Japan, from Malaysia, something like that, right? And this is just flash news to me, right? South Korea are the world's biggest. They use the word biggest spenders on the luxury goods, right? And on last year, on a YOY base, then they increased it about 24% on total spending to 16.8 billion US dollar per year. Wow, this is a big increment, right? Especially on 2022, the economy is not very good. I think that is a lot of China wealthy people. They went to South Korea, right? And then they maybe become South Korean. So they think that, oh, South Koreans have a big increment on the spending on personal luxury. But I think that a lot of them is coming from China. Right? A lot of them is coming from China. And we talk about Tim Cook's. You see the title, right? But this is not by the shareholder. This is requested by Tim Cook's himself, right? I have made underline on red color, right? So you see that actually in 2022, we have a bad year on 2022, but not to Tim Cook's. Tim Cook's has a very good year on 2022. You can see that Cook make just 83 million in the stock reward awards US dollar, 12 million in incentive, and 3 million in salary. That means when we sum them up, then he nearly made 98 million US dollar in last year. And he also got benefits including retirement plan contributions, securities, personal air travel, and over 46,000 US dollar in vacation cash out, right? Because he has to go to work. He cannot take the vacation. So this is requested by Cook himself, right? Then he will cut 40% the pay then in this year. Then I think that he should give his regards to Steve Jobs, because this is what Steve Jobs that make him be that position, right, for a long time. And then for the past 10 years, Apple's share price is also rising up, right? So he should get that, but we see that actually Apple's sales on the iPhone and on the expansion then been slowing down in 2022 already, right? So actually, I think this is the reason why he asked for a pay cut automatically by himself. So we talk about match, right? And you can see that this is just by 2 days before, and then they say that okay, Meta match or pins is pi interest. Which social media earns the street strong buy rating? right? I don't think that all of them should, right? I don't think that all of them should. And what they are holding the reason is because their share price has been dropped a lot. A stock price dropped a lot doesn't mean that then you should buy it. Right? Also doesn't mean that actually they should be rated at a strong buy or a better stock price. Everything should come back to the revenue, to the operating cash provided by the business, operating activity, something like that. That means the ability to generate the cash and then to be beneficial to the shareholders. It's not just by, okay, the share price dropped that, something like that, right? So this is for match, then we go for the analyze. We can see that a lot of stock in the last quarter of 2022 been rebounds up, but you can see that match, no rebounds at all. And the PE ratio still over 100, 121. What makes to that, right? There is a reason, and the reason is now standing right in front of us. Take a look on that. That is the US dating app market share on 2021. I think the 2022 will come up very soon, right? So we can see that those with a red circle are not under match. Others all under match. So which one is not under match? Shooks, right? 2.02%. Glider is for bisexual is quite special category, 7.07%. Badu, right? And then we know that Bumble. Actually, Bumble, I forget the beautiful lady's name, right? She is worked in Tinder before, and then few years before she came out and then established Bumble. Bumble also doing well bad. So I have calculated before in the US dating app market, Match.com's share price shares market share is 65%, right? You can say that she is the biggest one. But the point is like that is the name is a dating app. But some like Meta, that means Facebook, Instagram, or WeChat in China, then you can also make your friends there, right? You can also take. Then I just want to know for ladies, women, the name nearby us, something like that, right? So actually, the dating app is just the name, just the name. Then for the others, then maybe not named herself is a dating app, but actually they have that function. So we can quickly see that the data, the financial data, when compared to 2022's third quarter to 1 year before, the data is very bad. The performance is very bad. You see that the revenue, no increment, right? And the operating income decreased a little bit. So the adjusted operating income also decreased a little bit. And then for the number of payers, right? That means the subscriber that pay, right? Increased a little bit, and this is make the investor more worried, right? Why there are more payers and then the revenue no increment, right? That means the numbers of payers are more, but they pay less. They maybe just pick up one item to pay, not the other items. You can see that very clearly on the RPP. That means raise paid by each payer. Only in America they got positive increment. In Europe, no increment. In Asia, dropped it a lot, and then total also dropped it, right? So that is the main issue. The earning power of Match.com is decreasing. That is a very big problem for Match.com. We take a look on the 9 months, right? Forget about the 3 months. The 9 months is from 2022 January to end of September. Revenue increasing, right? Quite good, right? 2.4 billion, 2.4 billion US dollar for 9 months. About increased to 10% to 1 year before. But you can see that the operating cost and expense, right? 1.99. 1 year before 1.55. Increased how much? More than 20%. And the revenue only increased by 10%. So we know how it ends, right? And the ending is the net earning. The net earning only 0.27 billion US dollar. And then 1 year before 0.445 US dollar. This is a big job, right? This is a big job, right? Because half is 0.22, right? That means they dropped it about 46% something. And then we can have quick look on the cash equivalent, right? Because the short-term investment is not big, and then the account receivable is big, right? So I make the summary on that, right? So even the total asset included the goodwill and the other things, right, is dropped a lot. 39.14 billion US dollar compared to 1 year before 50.6 billion US dollar, right? And then the total liability been less, right? That's not may not be a good news because it's less transaction, or they cut the people, right? Cut the staff, and then long-term debt is nearly the same. So I have made a summary for you. You know, no need to make by yourself. Cash 572 million US dollar, right? And then the liability, more than 80% is long debt, like 4.43 billion US dollar. And then the net profit generated for 9 months. Then we translated, right, calculated to 1 year for net profit, right, is 368 million US dollar. So very simple, right? We calculate for the capital and the dividend, or the that for the debenture or for the bonds, then she borrowed it. Then very easy, right? Then she need to pay back per year is 662 million US dollar. And then if we add up the net profit plus the cash that she had is 940. That means for after 1.5 years, then she is very dangerous, right? So it's very easy. Then you can calculate. Can she borrow more bonds, right? Issue more senior notes? Maybe not, right? So actually, this is a sign for us. The cash and net profit she generated can only hold for 1.5 years. Only, right? So we have to be very, very careful on that. I do not suggest you to hold this stock anymore, unless then she clearly give a way that how she can make the company profitable again. Right? Otherwise, then it's no use. Right? Just by standing there, still want the apps, then they make more apps to different countries. No use, right? Because now you can do the same function in Facebook, Instagram, right? Now even in WhatsApp, then is no money needed, right? Then what's the point of still using Match.com? And there is Bumble. There is all other competitors out there, right? So I do not suggest you to hold this stock anymore, right? So then this is the net cash generated by the operating activity. You can see that that is that's too bad, right? That's too bad, right? You can see that 0.3 billion US dollar compared to 1 year before 0.66 US dollar, dropped at more than half, right? So you know what I mean, right? Okay, today we share up till here, and then If you have more questions to ask about Match.com, then you can leave your message under the YouTube, or you can directly email to me, right? So I hope you like this video, and then please help to subscribe and then press the bell icon next to it. So whenever there is upload of the YouTube video, then YouTube will inform you immediately. Okay, then I hope everyone have a very peaceful weekend. See you next week. Bye bye.